Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to another episode of my FM21 save with Puskas. We are here for the game against REAC, which is a club. I didn't press that button, I pressed this one. It is, well, I'm not even gonna try that, but they are playing in a lower division. What is this? This is Hungarian Division 1, which is the division we're in right now, I believe. Why is this? Is this the Hungarian Division 1 or is that even? Yeah, no, it is. I don't know where my mind was at. So they were playing at the highest level about 16 years ago, 15 years for the last time. They got relegated, they finished in 16th. We don't even have 16 teams anymore, but they did finish in 16th. They then got relegated 3 years later, again finishing 15th in the division below. And now they are in the third division, so we should beat them quite easily. But you never know. Let's hope at least that we can do so. First, let's take a look at the schedule, which we're at right here. The last time we met, of course, was the game against FC Midtjylland. We then beat the Osgur 3-0. We then lost to Mezoku Vejdi 1-0. A 2-0 win against Komarom and a 2-1 win against Budafok. But then we lost 4-2 against ZTE and we lost 4-0 to Ferencváros. ZTE at that time, by the way, they were in first. And after that, Ferencváros in second, of course. This leaves us in sixth, so we're not doing too well, but we are only 3 points below the third place Feyenoord, which we are facing after this game against REAC. I'm absolutely not going to try to pronounce their full team name. It's not going to work out well. So let's just get straight into it. And when we're in the match, then I'll tell you guys a little bit of the transfer window. So this is going to be the team. It's Demjan, a Sholosi, a Komaromi who wants to be rested, so let's put Bobal in for him. Nikolic and Novak at left back, Imre Toth and Mihaly Kata at center mid, Shanto, Philip, Preklet and Nemet. So a couple of younger players, Preklet in there, Imre Toth is in there. Kata, of course, only 22. Boba, only 17. I actually want to play someone else at left back. Niiri. Let's put Niiri there. Because he is only 19 years old. So he can still grow a little bit. So that's going to be the starting 11. Of course, we are rotating just a little bit. Not too much. As you can see, 5 players we have rotated for this match. The reason why I'm not rotating 11 players is because I do want to progress. And I've noticed in the past that whenever I get overzealous with this team, we lose. So the reason why I'm still gonna rotate a little bit is because 1, we can give chances to players that cannot play in the league. 2, that also means that we can develop some younger players a little bit more. And 3, we do have a game against Feyenoord after this. The good thing is that game is not until a full week later, so every single player that is going to play this match is still probably, unless they get injured, going to be fully rested for that game against Feyenoord, which should be a really, really interesting one, especially looking at the league table right now. I believe we are at the point in the competition already where we do need to pick up some more points. As you could see, we are in 6th, which definitely isn't good enough. So we do need to pick up some points. And a great match to build morale in is this match against REAC. We're starting pretty positive here. We already have had 8 shots. Only 1 on target, but already 8 shots after just a quarter of an hour played. And Philip brings in that ball to the box, but they clear it. In the end, we get 3 shots that are blocked back to back to back. We still have the ball here though, so maybe this attack could still lead to something. Maybe one of our younger players can find the breakthrough. Imre Toth goes for it and he scores his first goal of the season and his first ever goal for the senior team. So excited for him, and of course a great start to this match. So having said that, this match is probably already in the bag. I know it's only 1-0, but we are dominating so much, and I do not see REAC coming back from this. We have a lot of very, very good players, as Imre Nemeth makes it too. With his first goal of the season, of course. He was away with Hungary under 23s on international duty. which I'm about to get to in just a second, as Bobal almost makes it 3. I don't even get the time to finish my story or even start my story because this match is so high paced. Well, at least from our side. From their side, not so much. But yeah, a couple of things happened in between. Firstly, of course, the transfer window it hasn't ended yet. It ends on the 25th of September, which is weirdly late. I don't know if that's normally the case in Hungary, but it is this season at least. So that means that we can still lose players, as Rudolf Breklet on his debut scores his first ever senior goal. So again, this match is probably in the bag. I think that's safe to say by now. But as I was just gonna pause for a little bit because I thought Breklet was gonna score again, but he didn't. But the transfer window, since last episode, we haven't sold anybody anymore. I've shown you guys the players we've sold last episode, all the players who had a very low potential. So those are the only players that we have sold. Other than that, we have loaned out a ton of players, as Rudolf Breklet makes it 4. We have loaned out a ton of players. We actually had an offer for, I believe it was Philip, which the board accepted on our behalf. Luckily, we could protest the transfer, which is why Philip is still at the club. Of course, very happy to keep a hold of him. He is very important for us, and if we want to win the league this season, then he is definitely gonna have to stay here. Besides Philip, we got multiple offers for Kata, the midfielder, who was concerned about his playing time. So that's also why I'm playing him in this game. But the board accepted it, and I tried to protest the transfer, but they wouldn't have any of it. So they said, well, you can protest all you want, but we're still gonna accept the offer. So at this point, I was like, all right, so every single season we lose at least one big player, just for that reason, for the board accepting an offer on our behalf. And I get that they do that. I mean, our finances are not too good. So I get that the board wants money, as REAC actually gets a goal back. Janus Kolar makes it 4-1 just after halftime. I get that they accept the offer because they want to get the finances up, and I believe the highest offer that we got for Kata was 2 mil, which of course would be very, very useful for us. Philip, with his first goal of the season, makes it 5-1. But yeah, they accepted the offer, and I thought at this point, well, he is unhappy with his playing time. He didn't want to sign a new contract with us. So in my head, I was certain that he was gonna be gone by this time, or at least by the end of the transfer window. But as it turns out, as Breklet scores his hat-trick, makes it 6, as it turns out, Kata has rejected both contract offers that he had received. So even though he was concerned about his playing time and he didn't want to sign a new contract, he actually does want to stay at the club, which I absolutely love about him. We had the same kind of thing, as Breklet makes it 7. We had the same kind of thing a couple of seasons ago with a different player. I actually can't remember who that was, who also rejected a couple of contract offers. I believe it were 2 players who did that. But yeah, he rejected both contract offers, which is why he is still at the club. And I am definitely going to immediately play him just a little bit more, because I don't want him to be concerned about his playing time anymore, because he deserves to be in the team. But the fact of the matter is that we have a lot of good players, and we have a lot of good young players. I mean, look at this bench. We have Gazdag and Benye still on there, so Benye is going to come on for Kata. Benye is the better player, but and younger as well, but Kata is, I believe he is homegrown. So I do really want to keep him. What are his concerns? Feels the squad is starting to lack depth at left back. Yeah, I completely agree with that. But Kata is luckily still at the club. Let's keep the rest of the team like this. Let's keep the young players in there. So we are gonna try to make him a little bit happier, make him feel more at home at the club, and hopefully somehow, some way. Which is the reason why I was selling all of those players with lower potential, is getting our finances up, getting the wage bill down so we don't lose money every month, to make sure that the board don't feel the need to accept offers on our behalf, offers that don't make sense. Because I get it, when you need the money, you're gonna accept it, definitely. But players like Philip and Kata, and in previous seasons Kokšić and Radic, I mean, all of those players you really can't afford to lose if you want to mount a real title challenge. So I really want to try, as Corbu makes it 8, I really want to try to get those finances a little bit better so we don't lose any more players for the rest of this season, because I do actually want to win the double. We don't have any European football left anymore because, of course, last episode, as you guys saw, we got knocked out by Midtjylland. But I don't want to lose any more players. I want to win the cup and the league in this season. We are through this round of the cup, beating REAC 8-1 away from home. So a very, very convincing win. And I love that news title. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see you guys in just a second when we get to the cup draw. And there we are for the draw. So probably every big team is still in there. You saw Budafok right there. We have Debrecen, Yoskjur, Feyenoord, Ferencváros. So we have a lot of teams to still be pretty scared of. So let's see who we're going to face in round number 2. Let's hope it's going to be... Why is Budafok's second team in there? I would have loved to have faced them. But let's hope at least we don't face Ferencváros. Let's hope we get another amateur team, because as I said, I want to win the cup. And quite frankly, I don't really care if we're going to face any big teams. I just want to get to the final and win it. It might sound a little bit like I'm too scared of the big teams, even though we did beat Ferencváros last season in the final. But the fact of the matter is that I just want to get there and don't have to sweat it too much. So we're still not being drawn here. We're getting some interesting draws in there. A lot of amateur teams versus higher teams, but also Bekic Sabah, who were in first league last season, have to face Feyenoord. Kisvarda are facing NTK. So a couple of interesting draws in there. Gier are facing Budaors, both second division sides. Kaposvar against ZTE. And there we go, against PEX, who we already faced, I believe, a couple of seasons ago. So there we go, we're playing them on the 30th of October. Let's see how that fits into our schedule. And there we go, just the end of October. So that's going to be an interesting cup match in about a month and a week's time. And Demolition is injured, luckily only for 2 days. So I'm going to shut up now and see you guys again in just a second for the game against Feyenoord. And let's hope no other players get sold anymore. So here we go, the transfer window is done. We got another offer for Kata, this time from Újpest. The board accepted it again, and he rejected their contract offer again. So Kata has remained at the club. We haven't sold anybody anymore. We've only loaned out, I believe, 2 more players. The full squad has been registered, and we did manage to get a left back in there. Not that we brought in someone new, but there was one left back in our youth team who I noticed was actually really good and has 5-star potential too. So he has been registered and is able to play against Feyenoord. So let's hope that he proves to be a good decision, that we have indeed registered him. But that is still going to have to prove himself. There he is, Mark Kashtar. I mean, he isn't the best. He's no Hangia, but he is alright. So let's get him to the senior team so he won't play any youth games. And the same is Rudolf Breklet. We decided to register him in the end. He was on the under-19s too, but he is now in the first squad and he is registered. So Breklet is also available to play against Feyenoord. So a couple of changes in the registration. Again, not that we sold any players, but I noticed that I had registered 3 goalkeepers, and I've never used 3 goalkeepers. I mean, things would have to go real bad for us to have to use a 3rd goalkeeper, so let's hope we don't need one, because quite frankly, we don't have one now. But that did open up a spot for both Breklet and the left back, whose name I've already forgotten. It was Mark Kashtar. So I think we have a good squad for this season. I think we've registered the right players, And let's hope that these players are going to prove themselves in this match against Feyenoord right here. It's going to be a tough one, but we're going to try our hardest and just see where it gets us. As I said, we are in 6th, they are in 3rd. So if we win, we actually go up above them in the league. Other than that, let's hope that everybody else above us drops points. That would be really, really helpful. Alright, so all the other teams have already played and they didn't drop points. Pretty much everybody won. So this is where that leaves us in the league. We are in 7th now and Feyenoord in 5th. So if we do beat them, then as I said, we do go up above them into 5th place. Well, actually, I don't think we do, because their goal difference is massively better than ours. We do go above Mesoko Vesdi if we do win, or even, no, not if we draw, because they have beaten us. But if we do win, we go up above Mesoko Vesdi back into 6th place. This is going to be the starting 11. Demjen, Kushnir, Nikolic, Komaromi, Kashtar, Xonka and Benye, Gruber, Fuluk, Kiss, and Nemeth. So we have Preklet in the subs bench. And where is Kata? He's gonna go in there instead of our reserve goalkeeper. And he's gonna get straight into the pitch because, as I said last match, I don't want him to be concerned anymore. He is a very good player, and I believe actually he can become better than Xonka too. So he might be worth playing more matches, giving him more minutes. So I actually do not expect anything else than a win. Exactly what I told the players, because I think we do have the better squad now. In the beginning of the save, we didn't at all. Oh, we do go up above Mesoko Vesdi if we do get a draw. In the beginning, Feyenoord and Feyenoord were much, much better than we were, but I think at this point in the save, we have a better team than at least Feyenoord. Feyenoord is a different story because they do get into the European competitions every season. And as most of you guys know, when you get into the Champions League group stage, you get 15 million euros and another 2.7 mil for every win you get. So whenever some team in Hungary gets into the Champions League group stage, they're actually pretty much the favorites to win the league next season because they just have so much more money than all the other teams. Because the prize money in Hungary itself is, well, when you win the league, I believe you get about 400,000 euros. So that 15 million does really help out a lot, which we haven't gotten yet. Of course, we haven't made it to any group stage ever. We've only made it to, I believe, the 3rd qualifying round of the Europa League 2, which was either last season or the season before. I'm not sure. And Feyenoord get the first chance, but they hit the side netting. But yeah, we haven't reached a group stage. So, yeah, we haven't had that prize money come in, that big money. So that is also why we're still struggling so much to become champions once. That was outside the box, right? Please don't give a penalty for that. That was definitely outside of the box. The reason why we are even up there in the first place is because as they don't give a penalty, they do give a free kick though. And Kashtar, the new left back, gets only a warning. Alright. So the reason why we're even close to being champions ever in the first place is because we have invested so much into youth players who have developed so much quicker than I would have anticipated from the beginning. And that definitely helped us out a lot. That is definitely the reason why we're up there. I mean, players like Korbu, Gruber, Benye, who we bought, of course, but Nemeth, Kata, Komaromi, Nikolic, all players that we have either bought or were in our youth squad to begin with. All of those players have developed so nicely, and that's pretty much the reason why we even stand a chance of being high up in the league and why we're even qualifying for Europe. As Feyenoord opened the score in the 50th minute, Aleph, I don't know how you pronounce his name, but he opens the score. And now we're going to have to score twice. And that is if Feyenoord don't score another one right here. So there is something else that I want to talk about. As you saw last episode, there were 7 players missing on international duty, which is probably the reason why we lost out to Midtjylland. I believe if we would have had a full strength side, I believe we would have beaten them quite easily. Just look at the players that we were using now. and how far we got. We only missed one goal. If we would have scored one more goal in that match, then we would have gone through. So that hurts a lot. But what I want to say is that those 7 players were playing for the Hungary under-23 squad in the Olympic Games. And all 7 of them played every single match. And let me tell you, Hungary under-23 actually got all the way to the final of the Olympic Games, where, funnily enough, at least in my opinion, if you guys don't know, I am Dutch, and Hungary under-23s played the Netherlands under-23s in that final, as Philip takes the penalty and he scores to get us back level against Feyenoord. 15 minutes left. Come on, let's score another one. But they did lose out to the Netherlands under-23s. I believe they lost 3-0 in the end, but they actually got to the final with 7 starting players from our team, which in my opinion is amazing to see, as Feyenoord get a huge chance, but they scuff it. But I think that's amazing to see, because that just proves how good our youth facilities are and how good our scouting has been over the years. So that really shows that we have got a lot of promising players in our squad, not only in our first team, but also in our youth teams. Players that are going to grow to be something really good in the future. And hopefully they're going to make a couple of senior appearances for the Hungarian team too. A couple of players already have, a couple of very young players already have made appearances for the first team Hungarian side, like Imre Nemeth. But yeah, I hope to see more players do that in the future. There's the final whistle already. A pretty boring game in the end. Not a lot of chances. We do get 1 point, which against Feyenoord, a top side, is an okay result. But being at home, I think we should have definitely done more than just get a 1-1 draw. But all in all, I think I'm not too happy with that result, actually. I would have liked to get the win. As I said, we need to pick up some more points, as we just lost 2 games back-to-back against ZTE and Ferencváros. So I think we would have definitely had to do better against Feyenoord there. But we didn't, which leaves us 6th in the league. Still, we are at 10 points, and Ferencváros and ZTE are on 18 points. So it's not the end of the world. Only 7 games played, so we still have 26 to go to make that gap of 8 points, to turn that around. So we're going to try our best, and the next time that I'm going to see you guys are the games against... What are we going to do? You know what? Let's actually do the game against PEX and Demolition. It is only 3 games in between, but we get another cup game in there and Demolition home game. So that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe.